A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News here on Channel 1 MTV. I'm Ramesh Shirugal Bandara.
A very good evening. I'm Mahina Bongzo. Over 100 people are missing and feared dead after a tourist boat capsized on the Volga River in Russia.
We will have more on this and the train derailment in India which left over 60 people dead later on in the news.
But we start off with a look at your headlines tonight.
President says that criticism is necessary to develop the country but not to cause destruction to it. A further delay in showers expected owing to a change in the wind pattern. Chairman of CPSTL admits that the quality of the stock of petrol, which was the subject of controversy, had differed from regular stocks. And bail granted to suspect arrested in connection with the murder of Lasantha Vikramatunga.
Moving on to those stories in detail now. The newly constructed Galle bus stand was declared open by President Mahinda Rajapaksa today. Speaking at the opening ceremony, the President stated that although criticism is important, it should contribute to the development of the country instead of the country's destruction. The President who arrived in Galle today was welcomed by United People's Freedom Alliance parliamentarian Nishantha Muthuhettigama. The President vested the Galle bus stand in the public by unveiling a commemorative plaque at the bus stand. This bus stand was constructed at a cost of 410 million rupees from funds allocated by the Ministry of Economic Development.
I invite the leader of the Rajapaksa company, President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who is keeping the future of the country on his shoulders, to address you.
සියට 96ක් විදුලිය තියෙනවා ගාලු දිස්ත්‍රික්කය තුල. 2013 වෙනකොට 12යි 13 වෙනකොට අපි ලංකාව පුරාම 100%ක් විදුලිය ලබා දෙනවා.
96% of the area in the Galle district has electricity. By 2012 or 13, we will provide the entire country with electricity. When I look at this bus stand, I remember the past. When this bus stand was destroyed during the tsunami, the JVP was with the government and they assisted during that time. We cannot forget that. Everyone has to unite in order to develop this country. Criticism is important. We welcome criticism. However, the criticism should be constructive and help develop the country. We may be wrong. These have to be pointed out to us.
නිවැරදි කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි වැරදි ඇති අපි. ඒවා පෙන්නුම් කරන්න ඕන.
The present electricity crisis is generating much heat on political platforms these days. Various views are being expressed by government and opposition MPs on this issue.
According to the minister, the electricity supply won't be disrupted. However, electricity is being disconnected for several hours daily.
When we inquire from the engineer of the CEB, he says that he is not aware of this and that electricity is being disconnected without his knowledge. You all speak to us and complain that you cannot even carry out a funeral or a wedding.
Why is electricity being cut like this? I was at the Harispathu electorate yesterday. Before I started my speech, electricity was cut. I called the engineer and inquired as to why electricity is being disconnected. I asked him whether the people have been informed. He said that he is disconnecting the electricity based on the orders he receives from the higher-ups.
When electricity is being disconnected without our knowledge, that is a problem. If we are notified about this early, the inconvenience caused by it could be minimized to a great extent. This is a very unfortunate situation.
Today they disconnect electricity by 1.5 hours. It comes on suddenly and burns our motors. People are compelled to disconnect everything.
Not only on 4 occasions, they disconnect electricity on 7 to 8 occasions. When we fall asleep, electricity is disconnected without our knowledge.
The Minister of Power said recently that Sri Lanka has been identified as a miracle of Asia when it came to generation of electricity.
When everything is done, they say that there is no water in certain places. They also say that water has dried up in certain reservoirs. It is as if we have contributed to making them dry up.
The Minister of Power and Energy wanted to show profits. He ordered the thermal and fuel power plants to stop operations and solely depend on hydropower plants. Water, which was used for the generation of electricity, is now over. The reservoirs have dried up. There is no alternative but to disrupt electricity. There is no rain like they expected.
I hope those responsible would take appropriate measures in this regard.
During the opening ceremonies of the Yugadanau electricity plant and the Norachole Lakvijay coal power plant, the minister came up with a totally different story.
Some plants have broken down. There are shortcomings in them and hence problems have cropped up. I cannot understand how brand new power plants can break down just after being inaugurated after spending millions of public money.
The Department of Meteorology states that since there is a change in the wind patterns that triggers showers in Sri Lanka, there could be further delays in the onset of rain. Deputy Director of the department, D.M. Dayananda, stated that showers could be reduced by as nearly as 60% according to weather data.
Hydropower generation is currently in crisis owing to the catchment areas near reservoirs not experiencing the showers that were due in June. The Department of Meteorology states that a change in direction of the winds blowing from the southwest and dry winds have attributed to reduction in the showers expected in the month of June.
The southwest monsoon, prevailing southwest monsoon condition is weakening these days. So because of that, we got very less rainfall during the last 2 weeks. But anyway, for the next 2 days, we are expecting somewhat good rainfall, but that rain will not be enough for the catchment areas.
මෙගාවොට් 800කට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ වෙනකොට විදුලිය නිෂ්පාදනය යන හිටලම තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ
2000 megawatts are needed between 6:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. If only 1,500 megawatts are produced, then it cannot fulfill the requirement. That is why the CEB is quietly implementing power cuts in order to save the amount. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the government to inform the public that such a thing is being done.
ඉතින් ඒක කරනවායි කියන එක රටට කියන්න රජයක වගකීමක්.
This is only for a short period. We are hoping to settle this. Since electricity is generated with the use of fuel, I request the public to use electricity sparingly between 6 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. We incur a massive cost during that time. Therefore, the supply will have to be controlled. Hence, we expect the fullest cooperation of the public.
Chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited, Major General M.R.W. De Souza, admitted that the quality of the stock of petrol, which was the subject of controversy recently, had differed from regular stocks. The CPSTL chairman made this observation during a media briefing held today.
Administrative procedure එකක් තියෙනවා. එන්නේ ඒකෙන් ඩීවියේට් වෙන්න අරගන්න. ඉතින් අර හදිසි අවස්ථාවලදී සමහර වෙලාවට එයාට එහෙම සිද්ධ වෙන්න ඇති. ඉතින් එහෙම වුණත් ඒ කාර්යපටිපාටියන් නිවැරදි ලෙස අනුගමනය කරනවා නම් ඔය ඇතුණා වගේ සිද්ධීන් ඇතිවීම වළක්වන්න පුළුවන්. The committee, that means the chairman of the Petroleum Corporation, is he is responsible for importation of all petroleum products, and the chairman of the Petroleum Storage Limited, Kolonnava, is responsible for uninterrupted petrol, diesel and kerosene distribution.
We informed the CPC about the quality of the stock of petrol in question, as it is the institution that is in charge of importing oil. We act as per the instructions of the CPC. If they instruct us to take over the stocks, we do it. There were differences in the required standard. We anyway inform them. We test samples and we send the test report to them.
The minister said that after allowing the tanker in question to leave the country, the payments were halted. However, from what is reported to us, the payments have already been made. We also saw the manner in which the ministerial secretary was transferred to the state service pool. The public is harbouring a doubt as to whether an invisible political hand is involved in this corrupt petrol deal.
දේශපාලන හස්තයන් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවාද කියන සැකයකුත් අද වෙනකොට ජනතාවට ඇති වී තිබෙනවා.